3 nights ago, a frying pan flew across my kitchen. Not fell, not slipped, flew. And if a translucent hand hadn't caught it in mid-air, I probably wouldn't be telling this story. The hand slowly placed the pan back on the stove and whispered, "Too much garlic, Cleo." That's when I realized something. I wasn't living alone. Hi, I'm Cleo. I'm 19 and I just moved to New York City for my dream fashion internship. But there was one small problem. I was completely broke, like counting coins to buy coffee broke. So when I found a cheap apartment in Brooklyn, I didn't ask too many questions. That was mistake number 1. My landlord, Mr. Thorne, gave me the keys. Tall guy, expensive suit, zero emotion. Before leaving, he said something strange. The rent is cheap because the last tenant disappeared. Then he smiled and walked away. That should have been my first red flag, but New York rent is insane, so I ignored it. The first night was normal. The second night, things got weird. Lights flickered, cold air moved through the hallway, and around 2 a.m., I heard piano music. The problem, there was no piano in my apartment. That's when I met Leo. At first, he was just a shadow near the closet. Then slowly, he appeared. A pale figure wearing old 1920s clothes. And somehow, the ghost was ridiculously handsome, which is not something they prepare you for when you move into a haunted apartment. Leo turned out to be a musician from the 1920s. He used to live in this apartment nearly 100 years ago, and somehow he never left. At first, it was actually kind of funny. Leo would move objects around the apartment, he'd help me choose outfits for my internship, and I introduced him to Spotify. Watching a ghost discover modern music was weirdly wholesome. But then things started going wrong. My neighbor Tiffany lived across the hall. She was a huge influencer, millions of followers, perfect apartment, perfect life. And she really wanted my apartment, because apparently a haunted apartment makes great content. Soon she started posting videos about me, saying I was the crazy girl who talks to herself. Her followers flooded my page with hate comments. My boss even started questioning if I was mentally stable. My dream internship was falling apart, and Tiffany just kept smiling. One night, a cold breeze moved across the floor. Leo pointed toward a loose floorboard. We pulled it open. Inside was an old leather diary from the 1920s, and that's when we learned the truth. Leo wasn't just a random ghost. He was a talented musician whose songs were stolen. The man who betrayed him was Tiffany's great-grandfather. He framed Leo, ruined his career, and Leo died here shortly after. That's why his spirit never left. He wasn't haunting the apartment. He was trapped. A few nights later, my internship hosted a huge fashion gala, and Tiffany showed up, streaming live to millions of followers. She tried to humiliate me on camera, but this time I was ready. Using my editing skills, I projected Leo's original music and pages from the diary onto the giant screen. The entire room went silent. Everyone finally saw the truth. Tiffany's family had built their reputation on stolen work. Her live stream exploded with comments, but not the kind she expected. Within minutes, her account disappeared. Later that night, I returned to my apartment. Leo was sitting by the window, and for the first time, he looked peaceful. The music finally belonged to him again. He looked at me and smiled. "Thank you for believing me." And slowly the light around him faded. Leo was gone. The apartment is quiet now. My internship is going better than ever, and sometimes late at night I still hear faint piano music in the hallway, just for a moment, like someone saying thank you. And honestly, for New York City, a friendly ghost roommate wasn't the weirdest thing that happened that week.